just because I sat in my son's passenger seat. My son's girlfriend got angry. Mrs. Liu, can you have some personal space? Passenger seat is for girlfriends. You don't understand this basic principle, do you? Or do you have something against my boyfriend? Even if you're his mom, you should learn to keep distance. Right. I turned my head and forwarded the chat log to my son to let him handle it himself. I didn't expect my son to say, Mom, since Lin has told you, please listen to Lin and don't sit in my passenger seat from now on. Don't make it difficult for me. Good. Very good. Since we have to keep distance, let's avoid it completely. I won't sit in the passenger seat anymore, and I don't want this son either. Since I found out that my son has found a girlfriend, I started to look for a wedding house for him. After months of looking at various properties, I finally found a house I was happy with. A 300 square feet penthouse with an excellent view. The south side can see the endless blue sea, and the north side can overlook the whole city at night. And the price is also very suitable. With my savings just can buy it in full. So as to save my son and future daughter-in-law have to carry mortgages. I told the agent, okay, this is the one. I will call my son now and ask him to come and sign the contract. What I want is to put my son's name on the contract first. When my son's marriage to my future daughter-in-law is finalized, I will add my future daughter-in-law's name to the contract. Anyway, the house was fully paid for, so I could add my name at any time. Unexpectedly, I was just about to call my son when I received a message from his girlfriend. Mrs. Liu, can you have some personal space? I was instantly baffled. She suddenly came to such a sentence. I really do not understand what she means. I thought I hadn't recruited her either. The last time I chatted with her was 2 months ago on New Year's Day, when she added me to WeChat to pay tribute to me. I sent her a 10,000 yuan red packet, and she politely thanked me. Why is it suddenly like this today? So I tentatively asked. What's wrong, Lin? Is there some kind of misunderstanding? Lin sent me an emoticon that rolled her eyes and said in a rather nonchalant tone. Passenger seat is a special seat for girlfriends. You wouldn't not understand this basic reasoning, right? Or do you have some intentions towards my boyfriend? Passenger seat. I remembered that I did sit in my son's passenger seat 2 days ago, when I was not feeling well and asked my son to send me to the hospital, and I was a little bit carsick, so I just sat in the passenger seat. It was a normal thing, but I didn't expect Lin Ling to be angry about it. I defended helplessly. Lin, I'm Ryan's real mom. He was born to me. What can I do to him? You're really overthinking it. But Lin was unforgiving. Mom. Is there any other case where a real mom is thinking about her own son? Even if you are his own mother, you should learn to keep distance. Right. Today you can climb into his passenger seat. Tomorrow will you climb into his bed? The words she spat out were extremely filthy, making me immediately red with anger. I've lived for over 40 years. What haven't I experienced? But it's the first time I've seen insults that are vicious to this extent. Therefore, I didn't treat her politely either. I directly disliked her back. You seem to be quite experienced. Is it that your father hasn't climbed into your bed too? Otherwise, how come you're so good at judging others by yourself? Lin Ling instantly exploded with anger. What are you talking about? Why are you talking so nasty? Are you shameless? A middle-aged woman giving me, a little girl, spread rumors. I can sue you for slander, believe it or not. Look, I'm just treating her the way she treats me. And she's actually getting angry. This person is really double standard to the extreme. I continued. Yellow rumor. You know it's a yellow rumor too. Then you guess if I send our chat records to the police. Should the police arrest you or me first? After all, you're the one who gave me spread rumors first. Lin Ling countered. How is that a rumor? You obviously sat in my boyfriend's passenger seat. That's a fact. Seeing her being so disruptive, I even forgot to get angry. I just felt a little funny. You're having an affair because you sat in his passenger seat. How many times have you taken a taxi in your life? How many times have you been in a passenger seat? And how many times have you sat in a passenger seat, so to speak? Do you count yourself as a pair of slept around, half a bit of vermilion lips to be tasted by 10,000 people? When this came out, Lin Ling was about to be pissed off at me. She huffed. You've gone too far. I'm going to tell Ryan. Let him do justice for me. I didn't block it. I just indifferently said back. Whatever. As it happens, I also want to see how my son will react when he learns about this. I was curious to see whose side he would actually take. However, he disappointed me. It didn't take long for my son's phone call. He yelled angrily. Mom! How could you talk to Lin like that? How could you call her a chicken? I find that Lin hasn't offended you. She even made a point of paying her respects to you during New Year's. How can you talk to her like that? Lin is crying now. Go home and apologize to Lin. I was quite upset with his attitude. But on account of the fact that he probably didn't know the truth yet, and was perhaps misled by Lin, I didn't argue with him directly, but silently forwarded the chat record of Lin and I to him. Then coldly said, open your eyes and take a good look. Who actually scolded who first? I thought that my son would realize his mistake and apologize to me after seeing this chat record. Even if he can't make up his mind to break up with Lin Ling, he will at least fight with her in order to defend me, and the relationship between the two of them will be cracked. Unexpectedly, he once again let me down. He was silent for a while before saying, Mom, Lin may indeed be a bit more blunt in her speech. But even if Lin did have a bit of a bad attitude at first, then you can't call her a chicken. Besides, Lin, she's jealous of you because she cares about me. She's my girlfriend. I can't ignore her feelings. Since Lin minds you sitting in my passenger seat, don't take my car in the future, and don't make it difficult for me. I'll tell you what, Lin is crying, so apologize to Lin and let's call it a day. Let me apologize. He's really saying it. It was Lin's fault in the first place, but he insisted on defending Lin, even going so far as to ask me, his own mother, to apologize to Lin. Moreover, I bought his car. But he refused to let me ride in his car because he was worried about his girlfriend being jealous. This son. It can be said that he was raised in vain. I asked with a bitter smile. Fong Ryan, are you sure you want to do this? Sure you want to take Lin Ling's side, right? Hearing this, Lin Ling was dissatisfied again. What do you mean? You still want to catfight with me even now, don't you? What kind of mom would do that? Letting her son choose between herself and her daughter-in-law. As she spoke, Lin Ling cried again. She whimpered with an aggrieved face, like a pathetic little white flower. Then, as if she had made up her mind, she said, Ryan, since your mom dislikes me so much, it's good that I'm leaving, so as not to make things difficult for you. After that, there was another tugging sound on the other end of the phone. The son begged Lin Ling in a low voice not to leave, but Lin Ling didn't listen and instead slammed the door with determination. After Lin Ling left, his son broke down. Mom, what do you want? You have to mess up my relationship with Lin for you to be satisfied, right? I'm telling you, I love Lin. Lin is my life, no matter what happens. I'll stand by Lin's side. Please don't make things difficult for her. If you make things difficult for Lin again, I won't recognize you as my mother. After saying those harsh words, he hung up on me. He was in a hurry to catch up with his Lin, and he didn't want her to cry alone on the street. But while everything Ryan Fong said stung, but there was one thing he said that made a few points and reminded me of it. That is, he disowned me as his mom. Since he can disown me as his mother for his girlfriend, why should I rush up and labor for him? If Lin Ling is so jealous that she won't let me sit in Ryan Fang's passenger seat today, will she kick me out of the house when I'm older and no longer of use? I didn't dare to think about it. So after thinking about it, I decided to stop the damage. Since Ryan said he would disown me as his mother, I would disown him as my son. I decided to let him have his way. I thought he wouldn't let me sit in the passenger seat. Then I will take back the car I bought for him, so that no one can sit in his passenger seat. You want me to keep distance with him, then I'll keep distance. I'll kick him out of the house. That way we won't have to live under the same roof, and won't Lin Ling feel more at ease. Besides, I can stop giving him a secondary card. After all, sitting in a passenger seat is no personal space, so wouldn't he have even less personal space if he spends my money? Thinking of this, my mood suddenly got much better. When the agent saw me finish the call, he came over. MS. Ho, are you still signing this contract? He should have heard the commotion during my phone call, and asked me with some trepidation on his face, as if he felt that his business was probably going to be cancelled. But I smiled slightly. Bye, of course. But don't wait for my son, I'll just sign my own name. Since I have discovered the true nature of ungrateful brat son, why don't I treat myself a little better? For the rest of my life, I decided to spend all my money on myself. As for Ryan Fong, the unfilial son, let him make his own money to support his precious Lin. I won't serve him anyway. After signing the contract, I went to the bank and deactivated Fong Ryan's secondary card. Then I went back to my home. Got a Mrs. Lu to collect all of Ryan Fang's personal belongings, packed them up and threw them out the door. At the same time, I asked a master to come to my home to change the locks, so that Ryan Fong couldn't come back home. After all this, I took a hot bath. While drinking coffee and listening to music, when the warm water slowly passed over my chest, I felt that all my worries were rinsed away. In retrospect, I hadn't felt this relaxed in a long time. As early as 20 years ago, after my husband, Fong Zhen, died in an accident due to rescuing a man, I was left to pick up the family's burdens on my own. Raising my young son, taking care of my elderly mother-in-law and parents, and at the same time trying to run my own business, it can be said that I haven't had a single day off in these 20 years. Over the years, my biggest goal is to save up enough for my son to have a house, a car and a dowry, and to see him get married and have children. In that way, I would be able to explain to my husband who died early. But Ryan Fong let me down too much. He made me feel as if what I had been doing for him was a joke. I'm too tired. I don't want to keep dedicating myself to him anymore. For the rest of my life, I want to live for myself. Only I hadn't been soaking for a while when the phone rang. The caller was Ryan Fong. As soon as the call was answered, he anxiously questioned me. Mom, why did you stop my card? Don't be capricious. Okay, I've managed to coax Lin into buying a bag at the mall with her, but when I paid for it, the lady at the counter said that I didn't have any money in my card. Do you know how humiliating it is for me? Now hurry up and give me $50,000. Lin and the lady at the mall are waiting. I asked, feigning surprise. Mom, who are you calling mom? Me. Ryan Fong was in a hurry. He was anxious and angry. Mom, what are you doing? Will you stop it? I'm in a hurry. I don't have time to play with you. I laughed coldly. Didn't you say you don't recognize me as your mother? How come you've forgotten so soon? Ryan Fong gave an impatient TSK. Wasn't it because I was in a hurry? Lin was pissed off by you. I can't be mad at you. You're so old. Why are you still angry with me? Hurry up and pay the money. Don't make a fuss. Even at this point, he still has this kind of attitude towards me, as if I owe him the money. It was as if I owed him the money. I said coldly, not spoiling him. How can you go back on your word? As early as when you said you would disown me as your mother, I no longer have you as my son. Now in my eyes you are a stranger, and I will not spend money on strangers. After saying that, I hung up on Ryan Fong. For this son, I've been completely disappointed, so there's no way I'm going to pay for him anymore. As for how he's going to explain to his Lin today, that's out of my hands. Ryan Fong didn't end up asking me for the money. But he was too embarrassed to make a joke out of his locker sister and didn't want to disappoint Lin, so he remembered his grandmother who loved him. He made a phone call to his grandma in aggravation. On the phone, he kept complaining that not only did I want to break off the relationship with him, but I also stopped his card, which caused him to go out with his girlfriend to buy things without money to pay. My mother-in-law was heartbroken and was busy calling her eldest grandson for $100,000. Only then did Ryan Fong manage to pay. But because of the long delay, Lin Ling felt disgraced and had another fight with him. Now, Ryan Fong had paid the money, lost his mom, and lost face, but his girlfriend still hadn't been coaxed. However, he didn't feel that it was Lin Ling's fault. On the contrary, he put all the blame on me. He felt that it was all my fault. If I didn't have to be careful with Lin Ling about a passenger seat, then things wouldn't have gotten to this point. So he hated me. After sending Lin Ling home, he immediately went home with the intention of having a big fight with me. But when he got to the door of his house, he was dumbfounded. He then realized that all of his personal belongings had been thrown out by me and the front door had been replaced with a new one. He then realized that I had come true when I said I was going to disown him as my son. He angrily sent me a message questioning me. What do you mean by this? Are you really going to kick me out? Just because of a passenger seat? Are you really going to do that? Is that so? Of course. If I don't kick him out today, he'll be the one kicked out on the street tomorrow. So I laughed. Of course I have to let you move out. After all, who would take in a stranger in their own home? You should hurry up and move out the stuff. If it's any later it might have to be thrown out as garbage by the housekeeping. Then reminded him. Right. You remember to call a moving truck. I'll take back the truck I gave you. You'll have to find a way to move your luggage yourself. Now you don't have to drive. And your Lin won't have to worry about another woman sitting in your passenger seat anymore. After saying that, I used the spare key to open the car door and got in. Then with a hooked lip, I stepped on the gas. In the beginning, Ryan Fong was worried that he would get points for violating the law. So when I bought him a car, he specifically requested that my name be written in the owner's column. I didn't realize that it would be convenient for me now. It makes it easy for me to repossess my own car without any responsibility at all. Ryan Fong blew a gasket on the other end of the line. He couldn't hold back a bit more and cursed at me. No, you are sick. Are you menopause or have your head been kicked by a donkey? Treat their own son can be so cold-blooded. I'm really unlucky to have a mom like you. You deserve to lose your husband at such a young age. My dad was definitely cursed by you. I'm not sure if you're the one who's going to be able to do it. Although he had long been disappointed in him. But after hearing his heartbreaking words, my heart still hurts. I never thought that the flesh and blood that I had worked so hard to give birth to and raise would become a sharp knife that stabbed me. And because he knew enough, he also knew what words could break my heart the most. Ironic. So ironic. Except, after a while my pain turned to gratitude. Since he would say that, it proved that subconsciously that's what he thought, that he resented me from the bottom of his bones. Luckily I found out his true colors before I bought him a house. Otherwise when I gave him all my savings, then I would really have no place to cry. Compared to being homeless and having nothing when I was old, I am in a pretty good place now. Thinking about this made me feel much better. I took a screenshot of each of the words Ryan Fong scolded me with and then pulled the plug on him. Out of sight. Out of mind. Fong Ryan took his luggage to his grandmother's house. After seeing that his eldest grandson had not only had his card suspended, but had also been kicked out of the house and had his car repossessed, his mother-in-law, Chen Xiuli, was heartbroken. She called me and questioned me. Who are you to kick Ryan out? He is my only grandson, the future heir of the Fong family, and everything in the house belongs to him. So what does it have to do with you? What are you in charge of? Take my grandson back. Give him back his car. Give him the money, or else I'll turn my back on you. Familiar words. I finally understood why Ryan Fong had become like this. I think he had learned from my mother-in-law. However, her words had no deterrent effect on me. I said with a slight smile. So he's the heir of your Fong family, then it's just as well. I'm returning him to your Fang family now. Hurry up and let him go back to inherit the pots and pans of your Fang family. As for my house, car and savings, I'm sorry. I earned them myself after I was widowed. They have nothing to do with your Fang family. The Fangs. Apart from his Y chromosome, what else is Fang Ryan's? I earned all the money to buy him his food. Never spent a penny on the Fang family. Even Chen Xiaoli's living expenses are all given by me. Chen Xiaoli was angry. I've never spent a penny of their money. Even Chen Xiaoli's own living expenses are given by me. You have married into our Fang family. Your money is not all my son's money. I rolled my eyes. What a legitimate ignorant. Your son's money. Your son was dead and buried 20 years ago. My marriage to him ended the day he died. After that, every cent I earned was my own. And had nothing to do with your son. Chen Xiaoli was directly angered by me and cried. She angrily accused me. If you do this to me and Ryan, can you stand up to my son who is in heaven? I said with a straight face. Of course I can. After he died I raised Ryan Fang and raised you. My marriage to Fang Zhen only lasted 2 years, but I raised you for 20 years. I'm as kind as I can be. The one who has wronged me is himself. I had just given birth to a child, but he lost his own life to save his female colleague. Did he think of me the moment he went into the water? He is indeed a hero for what he did. I know, I shouldn't resent him. What he did was a good thing. But for the past 20 years, I've worked several jobs on my own, and I've worn myself out trying to support my family. But the female colleague he saved never showed up once. Instead she moved home early, changed her job, and avoided our family as if she was avoiding the plague. How can I not complain? Thinking of this, I said with hatred. So give up his life to save. No, understand that he is saving female colleagues. Do not know thought he was saving his loverette. Chen Xiaoli was stunned. As if she was poked by me, she froze for a moment. It was only after a while that she forced herself to calm down and said. You, how can you think like that? My son is not such a person. You're slandering. Slandering a hero is against the law. I can sue you for defamation. Do you believe me? I won't talk to you anymore. Since you're so unreasonable, I'll be damned if I'm going to be rude. You'll see. You'll have a good time. After saying that, she hurriedly hung up the phone. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong. Chen Xiaoli's reaction was not normal. If I had said that about her son, she would have yelled at me. Instead, she directly froze, then tremblingly asked me why I thought so, and finally hurriedly hung up the phone. This reaction of hers made me feel suspicious. Could it be that Fang Zhen really had an affair with his female co-worker? There are some things, once suspected, will be like a seed in the bottom of the heart to take root, so that I cannot help but repeatedly ponder the original Fang Zhen's every move. From the original recollection of the good memories to look for Fang Zhen cheating evidence. The female co-worker Fang Zhen saved was called Li Meng, and I had seen her before. Once she also came to the house with other co-workers to have dinner, and she also complimented me on the delicious sweet and sour pork ribs I made. But, that day she was the last one to come. It is Fang Zhen went downstairs to pick up her, a full 10 minutes before the two people came up. Then I saw Li Meng's neck has a red mark. Li Meng said it was a mosquito bite. Now that I think about it, maybe it's not just mosquitoes. On the day of my birth, Fang Zhen came very late. When he arrived I have been pushed into the delivery room. He said he was late because he was working overtime, and I believed him. But, now think about it, what kind of boss would let an employee whose wife is in labor work overtime? Unless, overtime was just an excuse for him. And what made me most suspicious was Fang Zhen's death. On that day, less than a year-old Fang Ryan had a fever, and I asked Fang Zhen to go out and buy medicine for the child. The pharmacy was right in front of the neighborhood. But he never came back. I waited for him for 2 hours, until I had physically calmed Fang Ryan's fever, but he still hadn't come back. Later, I waited for the news of Fang Zhen's death. The police informed me that Fang Zhen had died by the river a dozen kilometers away for his bravery. I was certainly skeptical at the time, but when Chen Xiuli learned of what happened, she flatly insisted that she herself had asthma at the time, and Fang Zhen was only there to take her to the hospital. Since going to her home happened to pass by that river, and she did take out the phone records of that day. So I believed it. But now it seemed suspicious. I was very eager to solve the mystery. So, I spent a lot of money to hire a private detective to help me investigate the truth of the matter of Fang Zhen's bravery back then, wanting to know whether he and his female colleagues in the end there is no unseemly relationship. When I was waiting for the results with anxiety, Fang Ryan and Chen Xiuli sighed of another problem. They posted videos on the internet cursing me. Chen Xiuli held up her ID card and said in front of the camera in tears, Chen Xiuli real name report Fang's sister hot pot restaurant owner Lu Fang abandoned children, hijacked the husband's family property. My grandson and I are kicked out of the house. My son died 20 years ago for his bravery. He did all the good things in his life, but I didn't expect to get such a vicious daughter-in-law, who has ruined our family, Ryan Fang said with red eyes while calming Chen Xiuli. 2 days ago, I heard that my mom bought a 300 square feet penthouse in the best location, in her name alone. But she can't even afford to pay for my college tuition, letting me drop out of school early to enter society, and I can't even find a job. Sometimes I wonder if she's my real mom. Not paying for his college education. Are you kidding? He scored less than 200 points in the college entrance exam. Even if I wanted him to go to college, no school would want him. I also advised him to go back to college, but he was afraid of suffering, so he decided not to go back to college. And now I won't let him go. What a load of crap. At this time, Ryan Fang's girlfriend, Lin Ling, also joined in the fun. Perhaps, Mrs. Lu loves her son but can't let him go. So she has a hatred out of love. Once her words came out, the atmosphere in the live broadcast room reached a climax. Numerous melon-eating netizens flocked in to ask Lin Ling what exactly she meant. Only then did Lin Ling slowly open her mouth. It means that Mrs. Lu was widowed at an early age, and perhaps she has developed a male-female relationship with her own son, so she has a great deal of animosity towards me, the daughter-in-law who stole her son. She was very possessive of Ryan's passenger seat. I just politely reminded her that I was Ryan's girlfriend, and she went ballistic, calling me a whore. Then Ryan clashed with her in defense of me, and she got so angry that she wanted to break off the mother-son relationship with Ryan, and not only hijacked all the family's possessions, but also kicked Ryan out of the house. After saying that, she also played a recording of the call. In the recording, she pinched out the part that was unfavorable to her, and instead cut out the words that I scolded her, vividly portraying me as an evil mother-in-law. As soon as the recording came out, the live broadcast immediately exploded. Netizens cursed me. So you really have a fetish for children. You can't get it. You have to destroy it. How did a hero of justice get such a vicious wife? If the hero's soul sees his mom and child suffer, I'm afraid he won't be able to rest in peace. What kind of mother-in-law is catfighting her daughter-in-law? It's disgusting. We can't let heroes bleed and shed tears. We must make this woman pay the price. I know where Fang's hot pot restaurant is. It's at No. XX Road, XX City. I'm going to go first, guys. The last comment was accompanied by a picture of a kitchen knife. When I saw the picture, my heart thumped. I realized the seriousness of the situation, so I was busy calling Xiao Su, the clerk at my hot pot restaurant, to remind them to close down immediately and give them a week's paid leave. It didn't matter if I made 2 days less money, but I couldn't let my staff get hurt because of me. Xiao Su deserves to be my best assistant. In just 10 minutes, she had cleaned up and closed the store. After all this, she said indignantly on my behalf, Sister Fang, we have seen the video sent by your family. I really feel cold for you. You're usually so nice to them, but I didn't expect them to slander you like this. I'll tell you what, I'll testify on your behalf. I can guarantee with my life that you're a good person. When I was 16 years old and just got out of the orphanage, no restaurant wanted me to work. If you hadn't taken me in and paid me, I would have starved to death. If you hadn't taken me in and given me food and shelter, I might have starved to death. How could you be such a good person as they say you are? My heart was suddenly warmed. I didn't realize that, after all these years, the one who was really nice to me was actually an employee who was not related to me. However, of course I wouldn't ask Xiao Su to testify for me. After all, the netizens are cursing me so fiercely right now. Once she speaks for me as an employee, then she will inevitably be cyberstormed as well. I didn't want her to suffer that, so I refused her. Thank you, Xiao Su. But I really don't need you to testify. I can take care of it myself. I appreciate your kindness. Have fun on your vacation these days. Don't think about this. Xiao Su didn't reply to me. I didn't think too much about it, thinking that she probably went to play. After all, she was as young as my son, so it was understandable that she would forget to reply to my messages once in a while. At this time, the truth about Fang Zhen's death was also found out. It turned out that Fang Zhen and Li Meng were really having an affair. They were just playing around at first, but while they were playing around, Li Meng got pregnant. Originally, they planned to abort the baby, but the doctor said that if Li Meng aborted the baby, she might not be able to have children in her life, so Li Meng insisted on having the baby. However, Li Meng only wanted to give birth to the child, but did not want to marry Fang Zhen. Because she still wanted to marry a rich one, not a working class one like Fang Zhen. Coincidentally, I was also pregnant at this time. So the two of them came up with a brilliant idea, which was to beaver away, let me raise their child and throw mine into an orphanage. And they did. On the day I went into labor, he switched my baby. When I saw this, I had mixed feelings. I really didn't realize that my beloved son, whom I had taken good care of for 20 years, was a cuckoo's nest fake. No wonder I couldn't teach him well no matter how hard I tried to raise him, and I had previously suspected that there was something wrong with my own education methods. Now it seems that he is genetically bad. What kind of good child can be born from a father who cheats on his wife and a mother who interferes in other people's families? And my mother-in-law is not only fully informed, but also particularly in favor of it. Just because I gave birth to a daughter, while Li Meng gave birth to a son. She dreamed of having a grandchild. So she was an accomplice in their evil deeds. However, after a few months, Li Meng regretted it. Because she didn't marry a rich man after giving birth as she had hoped. Instead, she lost her figure and yellow spots because of the birth, and she aged several years overnight. Fang Zhen, however, returned to his family and focused on being a good husband and father, treating us both very well. So our family is happy and quiet. And our life is warm and beautiful. Li Meng was jealous. She felt that all this should be hers. So she asked Fang Zhen to get back together again. But Fang Zhen refused. Because he is tired, do not want to toss again, he just want to live their own peaceful little life. After she proposed to get back together several times were refused by Fang Zhen, she broke down. So that day, she went to the river where they had their first date, sat on the bridge pier, and sent a message to Fang Zhen. Can you please see me one last time before I die? I'll wait for you at the usual place. Fang Zhen was mad with anxiety and rushed to find her. After they met, Li Meng jumped from the bridge pier, and Fang Zhen rushed to save her. Unexpectedly, Li Meng was saved back, but Fang Zhen lost his life. After Fang Zhen's death, Li Meng came to her senses. She was afraid of being my mother-in-law and I rely on, so she refused to come out to see me, but immediately packed up things far away from home, began their own new life. As for my mother-in-law, Chen Xiuli, she also had her own plans. Her only son has died. And now she can only rely on me. So for the sake of having someone to take care of her and someone to raise her grandchildren, she chose to keep this matter a secret. She kept it from me for 20 years of her life. However, What surprised me the most was, Lin Ling was actually Li Meng's daughter. Li Meng hid the fact that she had had a child and married and became pregnant after traveling far away from home. But on the day of delivery, her husband found out that she had given birth to a child, so he filed for divorce. Because she had a daughter. The man didn't even want the child. She became a single mom just like me. But she is different from me. I rely on myself. I rely on their own effort step by step to today. She, on the other hand, only thought of relying on men. She went through several marriages, but none of them lasted long, and she suffered from domestic violence so many times that she is now mentally deranged. She probably couldn't have imagined it in any way. In a roundabout way, her 2 children became lovers. What a sinful thing to do. As for the whereabouts of my real daughter, they also found out. That child is Xiao Su. I didn't realize that my unintentional act of kindness had saved my own daughter's life. This may be the will of God in the underworld. For some reason, the netizens' voices scolding me suddenly became much smaller. I thought I shouldn't, because I hadn't clarified it yet, and the netizens couldn't have changed their tune so quickly. When I opened Shake It, I realized the reason. It turned out that Xiao Su had spoken out for me online. In front of the camera. She changed her previous gentle and soft nature and said in a firm and serious tone. Sister Fang is not the kind of person they say she is at all. She's passionate about helping people. She was willing to offer me a job when I first came out of the orphanage, which allowed me to survive safely. She's so kind. She's willing to feed the poor and give them a full meal. It is nonsense to say that she took over her husband's property and drove away her mother-in-law and son. When her husband died, he didn't leave much money behind. And it was only by selling snacks and working at construction sites that she was able to support a broken home and feed her mother-in-law and her son. She is the most compassionate and righteous person I have ever met. Once her video was released, it caused quite a stir. Only, since she didn't produce any favorable evidence, the netizens didn't believe it at all. As a result, many people were scolding her. It's not believable at all. A mother-in-law may lie, but how can a real son lie? Collecting money, right? How much is it? Let's all make money together. Calling your future daughter-in-law a whore while giving food to the poor. What kind of schizophrenia is this? It's so fake. Who's a good person to catfight with his own daughter-in-law? If you speak up for such a person, then you are no good either. However, despite this, Xiao Su insisted on helping me explain in the comment section. Even if she knew that it would put her in deep shit herself. Fang Ryan called me at this time. On the phone, he condescendingly said, "Mom, now do you know it's wrong? Me. If you know you're wrong. Apologize to Lin and transfer the new penthouse and hot pot restaurant to my name. If you're willing to do that, then I'm willing to recognize you as my mom and put in a good word for you on the internet. I can even have a child for you to bring up in the future, so that you can enjoy family happiness." I'm all pissed off at him. Letting me give him all of my possessions and letting me bring up his children and clean the house for him. But instead, it's still a gift from him to me. I sneered. And what if I refuse? Hearing these words, Fang Ryan's tone steeply turned cold. In that case, then I will not blame me for turning my face. Don't forget, I am your own son. If you die, your entire property will be mine. Although I have long been disappointed in him to the extreme, but when I heard such cold-blooded words, I still inevitably felt heart-shocked. At least I've raised him for 20 years, and he actually wants me to die. What an uncultivated, ungrateful brat. In contrast to my own flesh and blood who knew what was good and had a good heart, it was simply one heaven and one earth. I no longer cared about him. And only coldly dropped a sentence. My own son, you also deserve. You will not give you a cent of my money. Then hung up on him and pulled the plug on him. Afterwards, I sent a clarification video. In the video, I told the truth about Fang Zhen's bravery. The truth about Fang Zhen's collusion with Chen Xiuli in switching the children. And the truth about me sitting in Fang Ryan's passenger seat and making Lin Ling jealous. and supplemented with evidence such as paternity test reports and call recordings. Of course, I didn't say anything about Li Meng's personal information, but used the pronoun Li Mao instead. After all, I didn't bother waking up Ryan Fong and informing him of the fact that he and Lin Ling were siblings. Just let them make the same mistake over and over again. Now, the wind had completely reversed. Everyone realized that the so-called hero was actually a heartless man. The so-called innocent son and his mother-in-law are not innocent either. One is a fake of Cuckoo's Nest, and the other is an evil mother-in-law who helps the evil and favors the son over the daughter. As for Lin Ling, she has changed from a sober and independent strong female lead to a catfighting manipulative girl. What the netizens had originally scolded me for was now returned to them 1,000 times over. Ill be damned, that family is no good. Throwing away the wife's child and bringing the mistress' child over to the wife to raise. What kind of evil person would do that? Disgusting. Mrs. Lu has raised these 2 grandchildren for 20 years, but in the end, these 2 grandchildren have brutalized Mrs. Lu. What kind of ungrateful brat is this? This ungrateful brat's girlfriend isn't any good either. Let them both lock up. Don't ever harm others. Overnight, all 3 of them became social outcasts. And I duly announced the identity of my real daughter. When netizens learned that Xiao Su was my real daughter, they blew up again. But the comments were all good-natured by this time. They say that a daughter is a mother's little coat, and now it seems to be true. A man who saved his own daughter by mistake, and a man who protected his own mom by chance, will always be touched by this mutual effort of love. It's true that good people are rewarded and bad people are punished. I hope Mrs. Lu and her sister will continue to be happy. After recognizing Mrs. Lu and her daughter, we lived a warm and happy life together. I took her to the police station to change her name from Su Xiao Xiao to Lu Kai, which means everything is good and nothing is forbidden, hoping that the rest of her life will be as smooth as her name. Later, I changed the new penthouse I bought into her name. I told her that from now on everything I own will be hers. She is my only child and I want to give her plenty of security. I also support her to do whatever she wants to do. Dancing, reading, beauty, whatever she wanted to do, I supported her fully. Under my love and money. She no longer has low self-esteem, but has become an optimistic and confident girl, lively, cheerful and generous. And I also made huge profits from that wave of popularity. Many netizens came to my hot pot restaurant to eat hot pot, so the restaurant was full every day, and there was a long line outside the door. The daily turnover has doubled several times. I opened 2 more branches so that customers don't have to wait in line. We were thriving. During that time, Ryan Fong also brought Lin Ling to me. My daughter had just finished her dance class and I was driving her home. As soon as he saw my car, Ryan rushed up to me, blocked the front of my car, and pulled Lin Ling down on her knees. Mom, I've brought your daughter-in-law to apologize to you. Please forgive us. I know I'm wrong. Now that I've been woken up by the netizens, I'll never do anything stupid like that again. Don't gamble with me. I know you still can't let go of me as your son. As long as you speak up, you are still my real mom. And I will also give you my old age in the future. After saying that, he turned his head to look at my daughters and added, I will also treat Xiao Su as my own sister in the future, and in the future, your inheritance will also be shared with her. So you can rest assured. Ha, still thinking about my inheritance. And what do you mean hell give my daughter a share? Who gave him the right to distribute? But I didn't refute him directly, but sneered. Apologize. You've been cyber violating me for so long. And you're just going to apologize by talking up and down. No sincerity. Ryan Fong was a bit confused after hearing that. Sincere. What kind of sincerity do you want? At that moment, my daughter rolled down the window, looked at Ryan and patted her face twice, and said lazily, Of course it's this. Do you understand, brother? Fong Ryan then realized. As soon as he pulled up Lin Ling's collar, He raised his hand and hit Lin Ling's face. Ha! 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 In no time, several reddish slap marks appeared on Lin Ling's face, so strong that blood oozed out. Lin Ling was also stunned. How dare you hit me? Immediately afterward, she also gritted her teeth and lunged at Fang Ryan, scratching several bloody marks on his face, leaving Fang Ryan nearly disfigured. The two of them went back and forth, chasing each other for a long time. I sat in the car with my daughter and watched the play, in the middle of which my daughter even thoughtfully gave me a handful of melon seeds. In the end, Ryan Fang had a slight advantage. He controlled Lin Ling's hands and excitedly claimed credit from me. Mom, do you think this is enough? Can you forgive me now? I spat out the melon shell in my mouth. Forgive me, of course. After all, I don't need to be angry with a stranger who is not related to me. But you don't need to worry about the distribution of my property, because all my property will be my daughter's. And it has nothing to do with you. Young people should learn to earn their own living. Then, with Ryan Fang's shocked and angry eyes, he left in style. Later, I heard that Lin Ling wanted to break up with Fang Ryan because of this, but Fang Ryan refused to agree and even imprisoned Lin Ling. Because he felt that Lin Ling was the culprit for everything. If Lin Ling didn't want to make trouble to prevent me from sitting in his passenger seat, then these past would not have been pulled out, and my relationship with him wouldn't have gotten to this point. Lin Ling ruined everything for him. And now she wants to walk away. How can that be? He won't allow it. So he teamed up with Chen Xiuli to bring Lin Ling to his hometown, and locked Lin Ling in the house, so that Lin Ling will give birth to his child. This was his punishment for Lin Ling. However, he was disappointed. Lin Ling has not been able to give birth to a child, pregnant several times, but spontaneous abortion. In order to protect Lin Ling's baby, Fang Ryan and Chen Xiuli thought of many ways to protect the baby, and finally locked Lin Ling on the bed to keep the baby in bed. This time, the baby was finally born. But the child was born with a disability, not only missing an arm and a leg, but also blind. Ryan Fang was devastated. He was so angry that he wanted to teach Lin Ling a lesson after she had just given birth. He yelled at Lin Ling for being a loser. He had lost everything because of her, but Lin Ling couldn't even give birth to a healthy child. However, he had just rushed to Lin Ling, and before he could hit her, she poked him in the eye with a pair of scissors she had hidden under her pillow. He immediately covered his eyes and screamed in pain. Lin Ling did not stop there, but stabbed him again and again, stabbing bloody holes in his head, neck and chest. Ryan Fang died. Lin Ling was sentenced to 10 years. Because she had been bedridden for a long time, her leg muscles had atrophied and she was confined to a wheelchair, and her whole body appeared to be in a state of disrepair. As for Chen Xiuli, she was sentenced to 2 years suspended. She has no son, no grandchildren, no financial resources, and can only rely on garbage collection to support her disabled grandson. For the rest of her life, she will spend every day in labor and pain. Later, I went to see Li Meng in a mental hospital. She was still lying on the bed carefree sunbathing. Once she saw me, the smile suddenly solidified. You are Lu Fang. You know all about it, I said with a smile. Yes, I know. I came here specifically to inform you that your son is dead, your daughter killed. Your grandson, or rather grandson, is a blind man with a missing arm and leg. Li Meng, this is the sin you have done. After hearing this, Li Meng was paralyzed to the ground. She howled hysterically, repeating impossible. This is not true, with a hideous and twisted expression on her face. Now she was completely mad. It wasn't long before she jumped off a building. One day not long after that, I was traveling with my daughter in Sanya when I received a phone call. Hello MS. Lu, your late husband Fang Zhen's cemetery trial persuasion has expired. Do you want to renew it? I said, I don't care. Don't bother, let's do it. Okay,